Mechanic number 1, backstabbing. Backstabbing on Shaco is like flying for a bird, and without it, you're going to be hard stuck. In this clip, watch how Shaco does not get on the backside of the enemy's eye. This means that he tickles her and misses out on a definite kill. Now, you don't have to be directly behind the target. As long as you're behind the middle of the target, you can proc your backstab. Just like me hitting this target dummy here. I don't have to be right behind them. Now, in the clips I'm about to show you, please keep in mind how I'm always queuing from Fog of War. The enemy champions literally have no idea, bro, that I'm about to come out of the shadows. With this Ezreal, for instance, watch how I make sure I'm behind his character before I backstab, and voila, I get the backstab on him, and it's crucial damage, right? Without this, I'm not going to kill him here. Before I decide to auto attack the Graves here, can you see how I make sure to click behind him? Not on top of him, but make sure to click behind him, and as soon as I see my character just behind him, then I get the crucial backstab in, and it's another easy kill. You can see the damage you deal. Without this, you are not going to be playing Shaco correctly and just play someone else. Just play meta. This one is more of a reaction because I'm not trying to stealth in and one-shot someone, but the thing I want you to watch is how I Q. I don't Q straight into the Graves because that might mean I get hit by his Q or his ultimate, even though he kind of just used his Q, but I Q away from him. This means that I reposition almost where he might run away to. Where are they actually going to run after their initial damage? And thankfully my clone does blow up and I get the backstab on him. But even if he was to run to his side of the jungle out of my red buff area, I would still backstab him and get the kill. This final clip for the backstab is very standard. Let the Karthus walk past, 1 backstab, 2 backstab, 3 backstab, all with Hella Blades, and then aim to finish him off. Also, if you play Karthus, by the way, have some self-respect and don't play Karthus. Mechanic number 2, scroll down and like the video. Thank you. Auto attack radius. This one sounds a little weird, but so many Shaco players I've actually coached over the years, some of them you might even have heard of because they're high elo now, but lots of them did not actually auto attack properly in terms of the distance to the enemy champions. So watch this for me. This Shaco decides to go on the enemy Malzahar. Now Shaco's very fed in this game and this Malzahar is isolated. In other words, there's no teammates around him or enemy teammates, right? So that means that Malzahar is isolated for Shaco to deal a ton of damage to. But unfortunately, there's one or two, I should actually say, and we'll get into the next one very soon. But the first big mechanical mistake is what we're talking about here, the auto attack radius. So how far you are away from the enemy champion you're backstabbing. Can you see how this Shaco is at max range here? This means that if Malzahar moves anywhere above where he gets auto attack from initially, the Shaco then has to move and auto attack. This is definitely going to mean he's going to miss out on damage, and he misses a kill here. Lots of Shaco players might be like, oh, you know, champion is so bad, where's my damage and stuff? I reckon I could deal maybe 500 more damage here just by positioning my champion properly before I backstab. What you're trying to do is get in like erection range. If Shaco had an erection, think about it hitting the enemy champion you're going to backstab. Yes, Shaco is a melee champion, but look at this circle for me. This is his auto attack range, right? There's a big difference between backstabbing a champion as far away as possible to backstabbing them right under their nose. Well, not nose because you'd be in front of them, but you get my point. Now, let me just go back to this clip. Can you see how I backstab as close as possible to the enemy Graves? It's not like I'm in Narnia or at max range. So as soon as I land one backstab, there's a bloody good chance I'm going to land two. So it's one thing to backstab, but it's another to backstab as close as possible to the enemy's rear. Like I said before, if Shaco got an erection, would it hit them? Mechanic number 3, Halo Blade movement. If you do not move in between your Halo Blade's auto attacks, you are either very, very lazy, or you're just unaware of this mechanic, or maybe even how important it is, or yeah, just all of the above, I guess. This clip again, the first mistake on the Malzahar, right, is that he's too far away. He should be a lot closer. The second mistake is that he just leaves his cursor on the Malzahar in attack mode. That means the game, as long as you're in range, is just going to keep the champion in the position they were originally in. It's not going to move the champion for you unless the enemy champions move. You should be doing that though, regardless if they move or not. Your job on Shaco is to reposition him after each backstab to make sure you can get in another one, as many as possible. The only reason you would stay still after coming out of your stealth right and then backstabbing is because you are already in the ideal position, like the most ideal position. So if this Shaco was a little bit more to the right of this Malzahar, he could probably just stay still, right? Like he wouldn't even have to move. But he's so far away here, that's how I see it. Yes, he can auto attack and he does look close, but he's actually in Narnia. That's how you've got to think about it. So if you watch this clip as a comparison, watch how close I get to Callista before backstabbing backstabbing her. So that was the previous chapter, getting as close as possible. And now this chapter, the movement when you hit that initial backstab, watch, I backstab and I click where I think she's going to run. Every single time they are going to click away from where you hit them. So if you auto attack them to the left or backstab them to the left, they're going to run right. If you hit them from the north, they're going to run south, right, and vice versa. So I know Callista's going to go to the bottom right here of the map. So therefore, look where my clicks are. They just follow her clicks. That's all it is. And I get in 3 backstabs in about a second. E her, GG, right? Lots of other Shacos, maybe they get the kill here, but it won't be as clean as this. In this clip, I don't actually backstab the Camille here because she doesn't have flash. And when I box this wall, it means that she can't really hook shot. But what I don't want her to do is escape through the top side of the lane, right? So even though I don't backstab her, I know she's going to die, right? Because I move my mouse according to her clicks. My clicks literally just mirror hers. Therefore, my movement mirrors hers. She's never escaping this. So when you auto attack once on Shaco and you come out of your stealth, make sure the enemy champions do not escape. So if you want to master this, do this at a practice tool for me. Set up 3 dummies all very close to each other. Your goal here is to backstab all 3 of them with your Halo Blades auto attacks as fast as possible, just like this. So obviously once each. You will not be able to do this if you are just right clicking on the first dummy and taking your hand off your mouse. Do this until your fingers bleed. Mechanic number 4, holding your E, bro. When your E is off cooldown, so it's available to use, your auto attacks slow enemy champions. That's one reason to hold your E. The other is that it does more damage the lower they are. I know I sound like lol wiki here, but I need to tell you why it's important to hold your E before showing you, just how useful it is. So those are the 2 reasons why. If I don't save my E here, not only are my auto attacks not slowing the Vi, even though I probably would E her straight away, right, and she would be slow, but anyway, my auto attacks would not be slowing the Vi. I'd just be relying on an E slow, right? But I'm also missing out on crucial execute damage. This can be deadly when you pair it with Ignite, and please remember to use Ignite just before you E so you keep vision. When this Shaco combos this Ashe in this clip, he uses E so early in the combo. Now, it doesn't make a difference that Ashe is still gonna die. My dad could kill her, but it's not as efficient as it could be. Saving E means more damage. It means constant slows with your auto attacks. Yes, alright, he has red buff, I know, but you get my point. Save your E. This Lee Sin, for instance, thinks he can escape the Shack. Just nah, he can't. You know why? Because I used my E early. No, I hold it, bro. Hold your E, man. And also in these clips, by the way, you should be able to see how all the mechanics are kind of on display. The initial backstab, the auto attack radius being as close as possible to them when you backstab, the movement with your Halo Blades, and also holding E. Just let it all out on the Rift. And whenever you kill a Graze, please make sure to press Control 2. Screw that champion. Even though I play him if Shaco's banned. Now, there is only one situation in which you want to use your E instead of using it as an execute, and that is to slow the enemy champion into gap close, right? To help you and your teammates get close to them because they're out of reach. So if you cannot backstab someone out of your stealth, it's going to be awkward. You're going to appear out of stealth and be like, hey, here I am, and then they're going to run off. In that situation, you want to slow them, right, ASAP, so you can gap close to them and deal damage. Otherwise, they might kite you, their teammates might react, especially in late game team fights. So here, for instance, this Shaco player uses his E excellently because the Lux cannot be auto-attacked by him nor his teammates. So E, Ignite to keep vision when she goes in the brush. Very nice. Mechanic number 5. Boxing, and we ain't talking the sport. If an enemy champion is walking into a brush that is in fog for them, then setting up an ambush with your box is an excellent idea. Unfortunately, this fire has a sweeper going, which is like the only thing that can alert the enemy champion that you might be in there, along with a trinket and control ward. But yeah, anyway. But the best thing about someone face checking you when you're set up in a brush and they face check your box is that they will always get feared away from the box. So if the box is in front of them, they're then going to get feared and face away from the box. So that means that as soon as they're about to get feared, you should actually run into them. Even if you feel as if you're kind of showing before they get feared, they're not going to react, bro. It's not Faker on steroids. They're not that good. Even Faker wouldn't be able to do that. So before they get feared, run out. And this means that you can get in at least 2 backstabs, not just 1. Sometimes you can be a little bit late. So in this clip against this Vi, I know because she has sweeper, she might be able to see the box. Well, definitely can. But I don't want her to see me. That's why I actually stand on the edge of her sweeper, just out of the range, and I queue in because she has way less time to react to that, right? It's almost impossible to. Now, when you gank champions as well, same kind of mechanic here, but we're kind of using Q to set up and get in a really nice position. So when you're ganking champions and they're clearly going to try to run through a brush to escape you, you can use your Q, if you haven't already, to try to set up a box in that brush they're going to run into, just like I do with this Garen. Pretty standard after that, right? They get feared, they face away. You get on the box side of them, you backstab them as much as possible, and yeah, GG. Now, one thing you do not want to do with your box, if you are trying to blow someone up late game, bro, please do not box. It doesn't even matter when in the game it is. Please do not box before you backstab. You can box as you backstab. So if you backstab box, that's fine. Do that all the time. But please do not box like half a second before you backstab, just like this. This is the cardinal sin. Like, you cannot use your box like this. Why? Because the enemy champion you're trying to kill knows what's going on. And the enemy champions, if there are any, around that person are going to know as well. This Lulu knows exactly what's going on because she sees the box. It's a little alert thing for them, right? Don't be nice to the enemy team. The other box trick is to use it as a reaction to skill shots you see or even anticipate while you are trying to one-shot someone, right? So when I go on this Jinx, I see Thresh to the side. I don't really care about Jinx in this position. Like, that's just bread and butter comboing. It's not really the most amazing thing in the world. But Thresh is the cuck. Thresh is the stopper here. We need to stop the Thresh from saving Jinx. So what do? As soon as I see Thresh's character kind of face me, almost react to my showing, I place a box down. Why? Because he's going to throw a hook, and we block it, and we also get question mark pinged. Let's go. Now, this one, not the most important W in the world. I could have shown you like a million more clips, but I just spent like 2 or 3 hours just gathering clips for the video. But anyway, this one is still nice because I'm thinking about Hui's fear. That's it. So when I go on this Lee Sin here, I'm actually thinking about Hui's fear. I know I'm going to one-shot the Lee Sin or kill him before he really does anything. But what I do care about is Hui saying, wow, don't touch my Lee Sin like that. Just like, okay, that sounded kind of weird. But just like the Thresh with the Jinx in the bot lane, teammates are teammates. They're not going to want to see their mates die. So they will try to protect them and deal damage to you in return, right? So whenever you think that reaction is coming at you, that's when you need to place your box. You need to be thinking about these skill shots in order to do the box blocking. Put them in your head even before the game starts. Mechanic number 6, ulting. Is the target isolated or are they grouped? Now, if the target is isolated, the only thing you need to ask is, do I need to save my R for a big ability? It might be an Azir ultimate, it might be a Vi Q or Vi ultimate, it could even be something like a Mordekaiser ultimate. As soon as you show and backstab someone, do they have an immediate reaction that kind of stops you from dealing damage? Do they create space? Do they maybe like do a lot of damage to you? So with this Ezreal, for example, who's an AD carry, and basically every AD carry is like this, you don't really have to worry about their reaction. There's no like big push away ability. Yes, all right, they might try to kind of flash or maybe even, you know, dash away, but the damage has already been done. This combo does the most damage in the game. So if there is nothing you need to save your R for, then just use your R to blow someone up. As long as you need it though. If you can blow someone up because you're ridiculously fed, obviously just save your ultimate. But just like here, the damage has been done, right? I don't need to worry about anything in terms of using my ultimate for. But what about if they're grouped? Well, if they are grouped, that's when you need to save your R. Please do not jump into an enemy team when there are 5 of them on your screen in like, you know, a 1 meter square radius, and then use your ultimate to blow up an AD carry. You're just going to die as well, and if you are the only fed person on your team, you're just going to throw games like that and give away big bounties. So by all means, you can go in, just like I do in these clips you're watching, and as soon as you think the enemy champions are going to react, you press your ultimate so there is no reaction that can hit you. That's the key. You get the first action in, because of your backstab, and then you use your ultimate to completely negate what the enemy champions are going to throw at you. But you need to think about when they're going to react, just like the Thresh Q in bot lane that I just showed you, and also just like this clip here. The enemy champions are kind of like gearing up for a fight. They're not doing anything, they're not farming, so they're kind of aware that Shaco could appear at any time. Me. So when I show here and backstab the Kai'Sa, I don't do anything else. It's just one backstab, right? And then I profane, smite, ignite, and then E, and then I use my ultimate at the end to dodge Viego's reaction. He's the closest champion, right? He's the only person who can really kind of like save the Kai'Sa or even kill me, right? Which is what I'm thinking about. So as soon as I see him react, I press my ultimate and also break his ankles. 130 ping, by the way. Master career, by the way. But that's the key to it. If I was to use my R there right at the start, if I get hit by Viego's W and he chooses the right one, or if Kai'Sa like auto attacks me and then ults onto the right one when I come out of my R, I'm in trouble. I'm gonna die. And I might not even get a kill there. So you have to know when to use your R. Isolated, grouped, Do I need to dodge a big skill shot or not? And you can get into a practice tool and practice all these combos. Auto attack once an ultimate. Auto attack twice and use your ultimate. This is what will make you a great Shaco player. What champion do you guys want next? For your challenger coaching, I mean, just look at the testimonials in my Discord, to be honest. But yeah, check out my website down below. There's also over 1,000 sessions on Patreon. Oh, bro, I've said this so many times. But yeah, there's a reason why they exist. I'm the nuts. And obviously hit the subscribe button and yeah, leave a comment down below how good this video was. Don't be shit, bye.